This is the Old Guy Network.
Welcome back to the Old Guy Network. I'm the Old Guy, the OG. Jay, you know who you are. Well, it's Thursday, and I thought I would start something brand new today. I'm going to call it Old Guy Rants. Now, yes, I totally ripped this off from Peter Griffin from Family Guy, from, what is it, Grind My Gears? Yeah. You know what really grinds my gears? Yeah. Well, I'm taking that, and I'm going to call it Old Guy Rants. And I'm just going to talk about stuff that kind of, confuses me, sometimes upsets me, or sometimes just clarifies things for other people, or even for myself. I don't claim to know everything. I don't claim to know anything, but there are some things out there that I see, and I'm just like, you see something that just doesn't seem quite right, and your head kind of tilts a little bit, and you go like, huh? So today we're going to talk about communication, and before you scroll past this to see if there's anything good on here, or just click on another link to watch another video, stay with me for a few minutes because this is kind of important. And I noticed this a lot in the past 3 weeks. We've been doing the trailer flip, and I've been working with a lot of younger people, and communication seems to be a very important thing, doesn't it? I mean, isn't it? When you want to try to convey your message to somebody, especially somebody younger or somebody older, and they don't know what the hell you're talking about. And that happened to me. I found that out a few times during the trailer build. So I thought I would just mention a couple of things here. Maybe it'll give you something to think about. One of the things was tools. I call specific tools, different things growing up. This picture over here, let me get over here like this, and I'll look up here like it's right there. This is what I would call a saber saw. And you could be looking at this saying, no, that's a jigsaw. No, a jigsaw is this. Sometimes we call the saber saw a scroll saw, but this is always a jigsaw. But nowadays, this is a scroll saw, and this is a jigsaw. No, it's a saber saw. That's what we always called it. Sometimes we called it a scroll saw, but we always call that other thing, this thing here, we always call that a jigsaw. So when I ask somebody, hey, can you pass me my saber saw? They look at me like I have a third eye. What are you talking about? That's not a saber, that's a jigsaw. So communication, right? So I had to explain to them, no, this is what I call a jigsaw. I'm so old, I'm not going to change. I'm going to call it, saber saw. I'm going to call it a saber saw. So you have to change. That's just the way it is. Another thing that I just don't understand this one at all. When I was a kid growing up, this was called a D-link. Now, if you look at it, it's the shape of a D. So it's a D-link. If I placed this on a counter and said to somebody who had never seen a D-link before, and I'd say, hey, pass me the D-link, they'd have a good idea what that is because it looks like a giant D. But no, nowadays, I guess that's called a carabiner. Why? I have no idea. Maybe that's the original name. I don't know. I always called it a D-link. If somebody's never seen or heard of a carabiner and I put that on a counter and said, hey, pass me the carabiner, they'd have to ask me what the hell I was talking about. So that's a D-link, okay? Look, it looks like a D. That's a D-link. And this is a pound sign. If you call an automated phone machine or system, sometimes they'll ask you to put in your account number followed by the pound sign. That's what this is. No, nowadays, this is called a hashtag. Well, when I was a kid, this is hash marks. These are hash marks. Those lower stripes that you see on that sleeve, that's a naval uniform, those are called hash marks. This is a pound sign. If I wrote out a shopping list and gave it to a younger person and put on it, a 5-pound bag of potato using this mark, they would look at it and say, what the hell is a 5 hash mark or a hashtag bag of potatoes? I don't get that. So it's communication. I call it a pound sign. They call it a hashtag. We have to know each other's terms if we want to communicate. The one that really gets me nowadays, don't get me started on water heaters. Water heaters are water heaters. They're not hot water heaters, okay? That's one that bugs me. You don't have to heat hot water. It's a water heater, okay? Remember that. But the one that really bugs me is cursive writing or script. We used to call it script. We'd call it cursive. Everybody learned it when I was a kid. I was talking to a young teacher. I think she's 25, 26. And we were talking about cursive. And I asked, well, they still teach that, right? And she said they didn't teach it to her. They taught her enough so that she could sign her name. She had to sign a document. She could sign her name in cursive. But they didn't teach her how to read and write in cursive. Now, she can figure it out a little bit. But, she didn't. They didn't really see the need to teach them. Well, I have a problem with that, and here's the problem. These are handwritten letters by my father when I was about 3 years old. Now, I couldn't read them then. I can read them now, though. But he was in Vietnam, and every week he would send me a letter. He would send my brother a letter, send my mother a letter, and then he'd also write a letter to his parents, all handwritten in cursive, okay? And he had beautiful handwriting. Look at this. He had beautiful, beautiful handwriting. Kids today, and I hate to use that term, but it's true, they can't read these. So if they wanted to know what was in these letters, they would have to go to somebody who could read cursive and hope that they're telling them the truth, because they can't read it. It's like a different language to them. There are other documents out there that they can't read. Now, I don't like to get political, but the fact is, we all know what this is, right? We know this is the Constitution, and we know the first 3 letters. We can read those. Those are printed. The rest of it, it's all handwritten. It's all in cursive. If you can't read that, you have to trust that somebody else is deciphering this and giving you the correct information. I think it's more important that you be able to do that yourself. So, it's all about communication. If I hand wrote a note and handed it to one of the people that worked for me during this trailer flip, they wouldn't have been able to read it. They would have had to call me up and say, what is all this? Can you print this out for me? Because I can't read this. And you're putting yourself at the mercy of somebody else. You really are. If you don't know what something says, if you can't read something, you have to go to somebody else. What's this say? And you got to hope they're telling you the truth. They may not be, or they might be. I don't know. All I'm saying is, if you've got kids or grandkids and they're not being taught this by anybody else, teach them how to read cursive. You can do that. Remember when you learned. Do it the same way. I know you can do it. There's probably still information on the internet on how to teach kids how to read cursive and how to write cursive. Do you use it all the time? No. I hardly ever use it, but I can read it if I have to. And I can never remember how to make a cursive Z. That's just, it's just weird looking. But it looks like a Q or a Y, but it has some mental illness with it or something. I don't know. Or physical illness for the Z. I don't know. It's terrible. But I know how to read it, and when I see it, I recognize it. So when somebody writes me a letter, I can read that letter. And I hope you can too. And if you can't, learn how to read cursive. You're missing out if you don't. Those are some of the things I just wanted to rant about today. Communication. If you don't understand what somebody's saying, don't stand there and say, yeah, I get that. No, because everybody sees through it. They know you don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you don't know what they're talking about, say, I'm not sure I understand that. Explain it to me. Doesn't make you weak. It makes you smart, because you're going to get their definition of what something is. You're going to get their perspective on something. And if you have communication, you can understand things a lot better. So that's all I wanted to say. So that's it for the very first edition of Old Guy Rants. And yes, again, I did steal that from Family Guy. So I admit that. But, please don't sue me, because I don't have any money. But that's going to do it for me today. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the channel. I've got about almost 200 subscribers. I think I'm at 194, 195. I'd really like to see this get to 200 before the trailer is officially sold. And that's going to be in a few days. So please, if you haven't subscribed, do so now. Hit that notification bell and you won't miss any of the videos. That'll do it for me. For the Old Guy Network, I am the Old Guy. I'm the OG, and I can read cursive.